Hello, Ritu Sharma. I'm so welcome. I'm so glad to see you today. Just a couple of words about the Voices of Game, Voices of Change show, a show who gives luminosity, visibility for people who make a change. So, Ritu, would you please introduce yourself to us and tell us who you are and who was the little Ritu Sharma?
Hi, Christine. Thank you for having me. Really pleased to be here today with you. And hello to everybody else who's listening today. I am Rita Sharma, and I am Women Empowerment Ambassador. And that is what I live, what I breathe, what I eat, what I do. I am around creating change, positive change for women, giving them platforms, bringing them together, offering them opportunities where possible, and helping them to create opportunities for themselves more than anything else. So, all my work, Christine, is around empowering women, uplifting them, providing them with opportunities and platforms. I'm an author of Rich Man's Poor Daughter because that's who I believed I was for the first 37 years of my life. And I am a big advocate of self love and love of all forms. I believe, when we hold resentment, be it in any given circumstances, that is not going to solve anything for us. It is approach of love that matters and that works in every scenario. So the little Rita Sharma was full of enthusiasm, was very curious, like a little monkey, wanted to do everything, wanted to learn everything, wanted to make best friends with everyone. And eventually, obviously, it got tainted with the pressures from the outside. And it took a while, quite a long while, to rediscover that little Ritu that was within. And I'm sure we're going to talk about that in a minute, but that's who I am.
Okay, great. So tell us a little bit about yourself. What type of study did you make to become the person you are right now?
Okay, so I was educated I come from India. I'm from Amritsar, the city of Golden Temple in Punjab, India. And I was privileged to be a part of a family that was resourceful. My dad was a very hardworking guy, totally self-made, multimillionaire, but very hardworking and very strong-willed as well. And I believe I've got it from him. So I was privileged in terms of being exposed to quality education because I don't know if you are aware, Christine, but still in some countries even now, there is no uniformity in education
Of
standards.
course not. Yes.
Unfortunately. So I was privileged to be sent to the best schools, colleges, and universities of the town. And I hold two degrees. One's in science, chemistry, and biology. That's my bachelor's degree. And then I went on to pursue literature, which was very close to my heart personally. And I was not allowed to pursue that before. Because in Asian communities, many parents, especially in my time, still used to believe that science has it's honorable to be a science student rather than be a literature student. However, when I grew older, I kind of knew myself very well and I put my foot down then. I also did
Okay.
my B.Ed and then here I got my teaching qualification when I moved over here to England.
When
Um,
did you move to England?
that was in 2004, August
2004. Wow, that's not so
2004.
such a it's not such a long time ago. I mean, it's quite recent.
17 years, Christine, and I can assure you that these 17 years have been a roller coaster, if anything. So that's I've been very well educated, being exposed to quality education, and I think that's the best gift my dad gave me ever. Of course, as I talk about pressures, and I talk about all the times about how young girls, are they're pruned in a way that the society would accept them. I was no exception to that. However, the gift of education that was given to me proved to be my most powerful weapon, if you like, and helped me survive, helped me grow, helped me rediscover myself, and now is helping me do what I do.
And why do you focus on women so much? What is it that really make you thrive about women?
To start off with, I'm a woman myself. So
Yeah, well,
I have
I am
had,
with you, totally
there
with
you
you.
go, Christine. And you know that we are different. Not good or bad, but we're just different. We're not better, we're not worse, we're just different. And I learned to accept that in a very long time and in a very harsh manner. I was one of those curious children and intelligent ones, if you like, who would ask a why for everything. You can do that. You cannot do that, but your brother can do that, who was similar age to me. Why? You can't wear this. Why? You can't go there. Why? And they did not have an answer to my whys. Bless them. Not because they did not mean well, but because they were very culturally stuck themselves.
Of course, they were kind of stuck in the code.
Exactly. And
I'm
therefore,
working right now with a woman whose keynote address is how to crack the code.
there you go. And we are coded. We are coded so badly that we don't even realize we are coded. We don't even realize we're not living our truth. And therefore, I mean, they did everything to crush the spirit I had within me, not coming from a place of love still, I believe, because they wanted good for me. They wanted me to have a nice, easy, happy life. I was not the one to settle for that. I needed answers to my whys. And because that did not happen, I gathered a lot of gunk inside, a lot of mess, and that piled on over time. And then when I went through DV, I went through a divorce, a horrible one. I faced homelessness. I was a single mom for years. And I kind of have had a journey that many women have. And again, as I keep saying, my education helped me come out of that. And when I turned around and I realized, because initially, Christine, I would believe very happily in my little bubble that it was very specific and exclusive to Asian women. It's not. DV is not exclusive to any culture. Depression is not exclusive to any culture. Homelessness, being a single mom, is not exclusive. The struggles that come with it are not exclusive to anyone. They are very generic, experienced by many women across the world. So I turned around and I saw the gap. And see, I was an educated woman. I was a professional. I was a teacher.
And so you mentioned you divorced?
I divorced, yeah.
Okay.
And that came through like really horribly, obviously, because it was a case of DV, coercive control, financial control, which I did not know was a thing.
Did your parents choose for your husband?
No, they didn't. No, I chose him myself, and that's another story there, because I chose him myself. They kind of stepped back, or we're not taking any responsibility, we're not supporting you because da da da. And culturally, that's fine. And because I was coded in a way, as you say, very, intensely, I believed for a very long time that I deserved this sort of treatment because I had chosen the man myself. So it was one thing after the other, and I'm blessed.
That's interesting. And how long have you been together then?
I had known him for 4 years before we got married, and I was with him for 11 years after that. Okay. So I tried every possible thing I could to make the marriage work, but it was not meant to be. And I believe he'll have his part of the story, but that's fine too. But I am committed to speaking my truth. And then when I came out of it, Christine, and rediscovered myself and realized where I had got to was more to do with this than to anybody on the outside. And self-love was missing, and self-belief was missing, and self-respect was missing. I started working on that. Then I went on to establish my organization called Kaushalya UK, which does everything I've just mentioned I do. So we put together things, we bring, and there's a gap where women who are on the bottom line, who are not educated well, they have support, and very much so they should have support. However, people like me who are vocal, who look confident on the outside, who are educated, who are in professions, they might still not be happy with it. And since I've started speaking my truth and being totally open about it, I have heard many women come to me and say, Ritu, I feel the same, I have been through the same. So that tells me that what I initially thought there is a gap there, and we need to fill that in.
Yeah, I understand. I'm with you totally. I mean, there are so many women out there who suffer from the imposter syndrome and who don't know what to do with their lives, who are lonely mom, lonely, just like lonely,
yeah.
and not knowing to do what to do with themselves. And so how do you make a change? Give us a tip to make a change for a woman who is who's feeling lonely, who's depressed, what should she do?
I have a 3 A's rule that I talk about all the times. And I would like to believe that's my discovery. However, it can't be. There must be other people who've spoken about this in the past. But the 3 A's rule goes that there's these 3 A's that when you apply those in your life and in any given situation at any given time, that will work. And they're they're about change, Christine. So the first one is about awareness. Awareness that something's not right. Right? Awareness that I am not feeling happy within. Okay, I've got a job. I've got kids, I've got a house, I've got a car, even a husband maybe, or I've got everything I want on the outside. I'm still not happy. Becoming aware of that. And then accepting. The second A is acceptance. Accepting that something needs to change. If I'm doing everything I should be doing on the outside, physically, but I'm still not happy, or whatever your situation is, whatever it is you realize is not right. Accepting that. Many people live in denial, Christine. And you must have seen so many yourself. Many people live in denial. You can see from as an outsider there's something wrong. And if you try and tell them, they'll be like, oh, no, no, no. You're reading it all wrong.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm immediately grabbing this because I'm channeling. We have been channeling for 5 generations of women in my family.
Okay.
So I'm doing a lot of energetic healing job with women who suffer from different types of syndrome. So I see exactly what you mean.
Yeah. And the third A then is that of action. Because nothing change until you change nothing. Things are not going to get up and do it for themselves. You have to initiate the change. You have to get up and put the work in. And many times people might be aware and they might accept it, but they don't create the change, or they can't create the change because they are scared, or they don't believe in themselves that they can possibly create that change. So I'd say if you want to create a change, any form of change in any aspect of your life, apply these 3 rules and then see the results for yourself.
Yeah. So how many women have you coached in that global?
I have coached quite a few. We have over 1,000 people joined us regularly, that is, for the organization, which are a part of our Facebook page, sort of group. We've got a WhatsApp group going. We have regular events happening online, of course, at the moment since March last year. Which have, so the organization kind of takes a holistic approach, Christine, which is four pillars that we focus on is health and well-being, financial education and entrepreneurship, personal and professional development, and social events. So we do all of them. Any projects that are being run fall under one or the other category. And women come together, and I'm so thankful to God that it has grown organically. And we still have women, joining us fresh. And the good thing is, since the pandemic hit, and this is about seeing the good in every situation, maybe. But since the pandemic happened, the boundaries kind of become irrelevant. And we've had people join us from all over the world. We've had speakers from all over the world.
Yeah, that's right. That's what's enabled us, the pandemic, really, because before we were just each and everyone in our corners, not really getting the chance, but through all these tools now, Zoom and Meetup and all these things, all these tools, and allow us to just meet people from all over the world.
Exactly. And we were restricted earlier in our boundaries, and we're thinking, okay, I can't go to Christine's interview because Christine lives on the other side of Europe. But now it does not matter. This is the norm now. We're good.
Yeah, that's what's fantastic about it. I mean, in every problem there is an opportunity, I would say. This is also, I assume, what you would say in your 4 A's.
3 A's. Yeah, you're right.
Well, the 4 A's. What could be the 4th A? If we be creative here for a little while.
Okay, that's a good one. Authentic.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. This is what I had in mind. This is
Oh,
what I had
lovely.
in
I
mind.
read your mind.
Yeah, yes, this is what I had in mind because so many people, so many speakers do the three A's, but then they find out that they can't, they still suffer from this imposter syndrome, even if they go for the call for action, but it's not authentic. They don't live and experiment their authenticity the way it is and the way it should be. And so then you see, I added a 4A.
There you go. There you go. We're going to add, going to make it the 4A approach now instead of the 3A approach.
Yeah, well, authenticity is great. You could even have a fifth one. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, 5 ways to actually get out of the crisis.
Okay. Yes, we can. We can. Of course, we can.
Yes, we can. Yes, yes. Of course, I mean, and being creative and talking to creative women like you, Ritu, is just magnificent. This is what I love. We're just putting people in the light, people who make a change like you, and put them in the light. And well, when is your next event? Tell us a bit. How can we reach you out?
Lovely. We have one today. In the
Today.
evening, we have one today. We kind of there. We've got continuous events, regular projects which we're running. So one's women empowerment event that happens every third Thursday of the month, and we bring women together from all over the world. They share their story as well as they share about their work. So it's an empowering journey because they'll share their personal, from where they're coming from. Why do they do what they do? Because there's a story, Christine, for everyone. Change makers. Everybody's doing what they're doing because they feel about something really strongly. And all these women are just there, and they share their journeys, personal journeys, as well as they share about what work they do. So that's 7 speakers every single month. Then we have Let's Talk Happiness sessions, which is around health and well-being. We do that every fortnight, first and third Tuesday of the month, sorry. And we've just recently started Men Are From Mars, because some lovely colleagues were questioning me and say, you know what, you talk about gender bias and you're doing the same. And I took that on board. And I said, yes, men need to have, their contribution given in when we talk about empowering women, when we talk about bringing in change of acceptance, of existing in, coexisting in harmony. And therefore, we started Men Are From Mars, which happens every first Thursday of the month. And on and off, Christine, when I meet some really lovely ladies who are ready to offer their services or want to help others. So, for example, today we have a lady from USA who's into branding, and she's offered to do a workshop for us tonight. So we're bringing people together and we're doing a workshop on branding tonight. A couple of weeks ago, we did one around financial well-being. So we keep going on and off as and when we can to bring whatever value we can bring to women.
That's great. This is how you make a real change, Ritu. Well, anyway, thank you for sharing this with the Voices of Change show. It's been a real delight to have you, and you are shining. You're just illuminating the video, Ritu.
Thank you so much,
I don't know
Christine.
if you are aware about this, but this is when people do change, when they do make a change, they illuminate. They have this aura that around them that's I can just grab from you.
Oh,
Ritu.
thank you. You can probably see it. I don't have that eye, Christine, but thank you so much.
Well, anyway, it's been a pleasure to welcome you to our Voices of Change podcast, which will happen on regular basis. We will have other people, other women interviewed in this podcast. And this is for people who consider themselves game changers and people who make a change and through their words and through what they do for this world. And so thank you for being with us again, Ritu. And how can people reach out to you?
They can look me up on Facebook, just Rita Sharma. Women Empowerment Ambassador is what you should be looking for, because otherwise Rita Sharma is a very common Indian name. And I'm on LinkedIn as well. If you'd like to connect, please do so. We've also, one thing I would like to say here, Christine, is about my dream project that I'm working on now, and it's a book of stories, 33 stories from across the world again. We've covered 5 continents, women from everywhere, all sorts of backgrounds, ethnicities, and the book comes out in July. It's going to be called The New Woman, Stories of Kintsugi Experiences. And please look it up as well. It's everywhere online on my social media platforms. I'd love for you to read that book if you'd like to. And
Yes,
yeah, so
it's an
social media
audio
is,
book, or it will
it will
be
be available as a hard book and an ebook as well.
okay, an audio book.
Not yet. No, we don't have
Well,
an audio yet.
future, Ritu, you see, there's another project for you here.
Actually, quite a number of people have said this, Christine, and it seems as it's a message that I'm getting repeatedly about getting that into an audio as well. So I think I should look into that.
Yes, yes. Well, anyway, thank you for being with us
Thank you.
today, Ritu, and well, I wish you all the best, and well, everything, a lot of love around you and the people you love, and well, and goodbye, and talk to you
Thank
another
you.
time.
Thank you, Christine. Thank you so much.